Do you have an RV and do you know how to use one of these? That's what I'm fixing to show you. Hey y'all, I'm Cole and this is Younger Every Day. So basically we bought a fifth wheel, sold most our stuff in Texas, packed up the kids and the dog and headed west. Now I'm going to school and we're loving this crazy RV life. On this channel we do product reviews, take you on amazing trips and share tips and tricks for RV living, just like this one. So if you're new here, click subscribe and join the Younger Gang so you can be part of our community, and don't forget to ring that bell so you get notified every time we post a new video. Today I'm going to tell you about a simple tool every RVer needs in their toolkit so that you don't end up boondocking when you think you booked a campground site. Just because you booked a 50 amp or 30 amp site doesn't always guarantee you're going to get the power requirements you need. And if you come up short, you've got to have an adapter so that you can power your rig and not end up boondocking. So let's take a look at the adapter that we've been using for our 50 amp rig whenever we've had to park at a 30 amp site. Let me tell you a couple ways that you might get into this situation. One, let's say you book your 50 or 30 amp site and you go to a campground where you choose your own spot, and lo and behold, it's a busy weekend and everyone has filled up the type of power pedestal spots you need. In that case, you're going to boondock while you're there, or you're going to have to try to order something next day or second day on Amazon, or go to the local store and pick something up, unless you have this in your toolkit or something like it. What I have here is a 50 amp to 30 amp step down adapter that we've used in parks where when we got there, no 50 amp spots were available. I'll never forget the first time that we went to a park where we might need to use 30 amps, we were like, oh, we can't, we don't have an adapter, we don't even know how to do that. Now we know, and I'm not afraid to pull into a 30 amp spot if it's a nicer spot or in a better location, or if all the 50 amp spots are full. Another way this might happen though is just because a campground books a 50 amp spot for you doesn't always mean that they have that ready for you, and the same can be true for 30 amps as well, although 30 amps are usually more numerous than the 50 amp sites at most parks. So the way that you would use that, let me just show you how you would plug that in. Okay, so the first thing you would do is plug your adapter into the pedestal. So in this case, I'm going to go to the 30 amp spot. Before I plug in my adapter, I want to make sure that the breaker for that plug is off. Plug in my adapter. Then the next step I'm going to take is I'm going to plug my surge protector into this and let it test the power on the pedestal. If you don't know what that is, you can check that video out right up here. Once I've tested it and made sure I have good power, then I would turn that pedestal back off. Then I'll go ahead and plug in my rig and then turn that pedestal back on, and now I'm in business with 30 amps. And I'll tell you, we have not encountered a situation where 30 amps wasn't enough power. However, we haven't been in a situation where it's extremely hot and we were hooked into 30 amps. So, you know, I don't know how it would perform if we had to run both air conditioners on a hot day, but I know we've run both air conditioners on 30 amps, so there you go. Now let's say you don't have a 50 amp rig, you have a 30 amp rig. You could do the same type of thing, getting an adapter from a 30 amp to a 20 amp. And you could also do just like my friend does and use a 50 amp to 20 amp adapter just to power the necessities. I'll put links in the description below for different adapters based on different power needs of rigs that are out there, whether you need a 50 amp or a 30 amp adapter or whatever. And then you can choose based on what your needs are. So when we were brand new at this, when we were newbies, I was really hesitant to do any kind of step down adapter. In fact, when my friend was telling me how he has adapters for 50 to 30, 50 to 20, whatever he needs, I was thinking, oh my gosh, that does not sound safe, that doesn't sound good. But this is a common problem people run into when they're camping. They need power, and yet for whatever reason, they can't get the power that completely supplies their rig, so they can use an adapter to step down to whatever power is available, and that way you get your necessities powered and don't end up paying to boondock. Like I said, I was very nervous about doing something like that, and in fact, I avoided 30 amp sites, and I have always requested a 50 amp site because I didn't know what I needed or whether or not we could even run our rig on 30 amps. Now though that I've been to a couple sites and had to use 30 amps, got the adapter and gotten comfortable with it, I understand, and really it does help make things less stressful because you know, hey, if I get into a campground, they don't have any 50 amp sites, no problem, I'll take a 30 amp site. And you know what? Sometimes the 30 amp sites are nicer pull-through spots and the 50 amps are back in. There are a few places we've been to like that. I hope today's video helped you out, and I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give us a thumbs up and let us know you liked it. And don't forget to click subscribe and join the Younger Gang. Also, I hope you'll check out some of our other videos right over here. So, RVing as newbies and not really understanding this whole power thing, and then picking up an adapter so that we can keep powered even if we can't get a 50 amp site. That's just another way we're living younger every day. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.